Shine with Kendall Lanice. Real talk for real people. Let's shine together.
All right, welcome to Shine with Kendall Lanice. I am your host, Kendall Lanice. Allow me to introduce myself to you just a little bit further. I am a certified transformational life coach, speaker, and author, as well as a certified meditation practitioner and content creator. I'm so glad that you decided to join me on my life podcast. On this podcast, I will educate, elevate, and entertain you with various topics. We will do live coaching, and I will hopefully give you a different perspective on some of your favorite topics and introduce you to new ones. I'm not sure how you stumbled upon this podcast. I'm just so glad you did. Before we get started, do me a favor and subscribe to this podcast wherever you're listening and rate if you are able to. Thank you so much once again for tuning in, and now on to this week's show. Hey everybody, it's Kendall Lanice, and welcome to Shine with Kendall Lanice. Thank you so much for shining with me today and always. To all my loyal listeners and subscribers, thank you so much for continuously coming back over and over again these last couple of years. And if you're a new listener, I appreciate you just the same. Do me a favor, subscribe to this podcast wherever you get your podcast, as well as leave a comment and rate. It's so imperative that all of you do that. All right, today's episode is going to be quick. I'll probably do another one this week, but this was on my heart, and you guys know I have a mini podcast called On My Mind, but I wanted to bring this to Shine with Kendall Lanice. So before I get started, let's start with this week's life note. All right, it's time for this week's life note. All right, this week's life note is quite simple. Y'all, get your colonoscopies. Get your colonoscopies. For those that don't know, well, first, let me just say rest in peace to Clarence Williams III, actor extraordinary, died at 81 years old this week due to colon cancer. You guys know him. He's from the Mod Squad. To all my older people, he played Link. And he was also Prince's father. And actually, today is Prince's birthday. Wow. He played Prince's father in Purple Rain. He was in Deep Cover. He was in so many different Hoodlum, so many different movies. So my prayers and thoughts go out to his family and all who loved him. It is Gemini season, as I am a Gemini. So Prince's birthday is today. So happy birthday to the Purple One. So both of those are who I am. Clarence Williams III passed away of colon cancer, and Prince is a Gemini, and Clarence Williams III was Prince's father in Purple Rain. I am a colon cancer survivor as well as a Gemini. And my birthday is June 17th. I'll be 50 years old. They tell us that at 50, we should get colonoscopies. But I'm so thankful to God that I got mine earlier than 50. Not much earlier. I got it in March. I'm 49 right now, and my birthday is in June. So just a few months shy of my 50th birthday, I got my very first colonoscopy. So they would tell black folks, they meaning the doctors and the standards, that black people had to get colonoscopies at 50. That's not the case, and they just changed it to 45. They should have changed it to 45 many years ago, because we've lost some good ones. People have struggled. People have barely survived. People have survived. People have passed away, and people have been diagnosed with colon cancer because they told us as the black community that we were along with everyone else and we had to get it at 50. For us, like with every other disease and everything else, we are different and we should have been checked earlier. So I'm a strong advocate now. I've always been of health and going to the doctor and talking about it in my books and on my platforms. And when I go to speaking engagements, I always talk about checking your health, getting your health taken care of, physical health, mental health, all of that. Now I add colon cancer survivor to the list of my titles: life coach, author, talk show host, blah, 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 but colon cancer survivor. The color is blue, and I was diagnosed with colon cancer in March, in the month of blue, Colon Cancer Awareness Month. How about that? Look how God did that. Had no clue. So it's only been a little over 12 weeks since I had the surgery where they cut out the cancerous portion of my colon. So they cut out a big chunk of my colon to reattach it. I had carcinoma of the descending colon. I'm not reading any of this. This is like all my podcasts is from my heart. Breathe. Okay. So carcinoma of the descending colon. I had stage 2 colon cancer. Went to get a routine colonoscopy to only discover or been told that they see something they don't like. I'm so thankful that I went prior to 50 and didn't listen to the standards or just because 50, think about it, you got 365 days of your age of 50. So I could have gone in 2022 and been just fine, right? If that's the thing, 50 and over. I'm just so thankful that I didn't wait, because I may not even be alive to even talk to you on this podcast. Let's keep it all the way 1,000. How many people get paperwork from the doctor, or they're told something and they hold on to the paperwork, whether it's blood work or a test or EK, anything. I know people now, not now, because of my story, people are calling me, texting me, inboxing me, messaging me, leaving comments saying that they've gotten colonoscopies. So I know God gave it to me so I can spread the word to our people and to all people to get your colonoscopy. And I say Black people in the Black community because I'm a Black woman and because I don't see a lot of faces of Black women who have colon cancer until I told my story. And so many people are hitting me up saying, I have colon cancer. I was just diagnosed with colon cancer. I went to go get my colonoscopy. So I don't mind being the face of it if I'm going to provoke change and help people go to the doctor and see about, their colons. Because when you think about breast cancer, you see Black women everywhere. You see women everywhere. Pink is everywhere. But it's rarely talked about with colon cancer. I didn't even know that the color of colon cancer was blue. I didn't even know that March was Colon Cancer Awareness Month. But I've done show after show after show and been to benefits after benefit after benefits about breast cancer, and knowing pink and the pink ribbon. But now, my energy is still there, just fighting for health. But now it's in blue. Had no clue that I would be talking about this few months ago or last year. Had no idea. So I just want to read something off of cancer.org about Black people. The recent passing of Chadwick Boseman, the talented actor best known for his portrayal as, of course, Black Panther at 43, came as a surprise and shock to many for a seemingly healthy, relatively young man to die from colorectal cancer. It seems almost incomprehensible, it says. And I'm reading this straight from cancer.com. But while colon cancer or colorectal cancer isn't as common in people under the age of 50 as it is for older people, it's not uncommon as many think. And let me tell y'all something. That's facts, because the people that are reaching out to me are under 50. All right, now let me go back to this article. In 2020, about 12% of colorectal cancers about 18,000 cases will be diagnosed in people under the age of 50 in the U.S. What's more, while rates of colorectal cancer have been falling in older age groups in recent years, they've actually been risen among younger people. Now let me get to this tab. Risk is higher in African Americans. Colorectal cancer also is disproportionate, like everything else, disproportionately affects the Black community, where the rates are the highest of any racial ethnic group in the U.S. African Americans are 20% more likely to get colorectal cancer and about 40% more likely to die from it than most other groups. Let me run that back. African Americans are 20% more likely to get colorectal cancer and about 40% more likely to die from it than most other groups. The reasons for this difference are complex, it says, but they are largely reflect differences in risk factors in healthcare access, both of which are related to economic status. So we know this to be true, y'all. We know that a lot of Black folks don't have access to healthcare, right? We know a lot of Black folks in certain communities, and not even with COVID, in middle class communities, people cannot get healthcare and they're not going to the doctor. Let me get back to this article. They often experience greater obstacles to cancer prevention, detection, treatment, and survival, including systematic racial disparities that are complex and go beyond obvious connection to cancer. The obstacles can include lower paying jobs and the lack of or less comprehensive health care insurance, lack of access to healthy and affordable foods, when I read this, I'll finish, but this just really saddens me for my people, because there are no lies detected here. This is the truth. Okay, low quality education and housing and unsafe environments. Colorectal cancer is the second deadliest cancer in the country, said Dorado Brooks, MD, Vice President of Prevention and Early Detection of American Cancer Society. This disease is ravaging the Black community, and it is important as ever that everyone has access to and receiving the recommended screenings. Even during the coronavirus pandemic, necessary screening tests remain available to prevent the disease or find it at earlier stages and more treatable stages. Let me just say, I had friends and I know people that said, well, because of coronavirus, I was afraid to go to the doctor, or my doctor was rescheduling, blah, 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 blah. I know that to be true. I know that's true. People at higher risk for colorectal cancer should talk with their doctor about whether starting screening earlier might be right for them. This includes, people with family history of colorectal cancer or any type of polyps. Let me just pause there. So my grandmother had colon cancer, but she had it in her 70s or 80s, and the health professionals said, well, that doesn't count because when you get it in that age, it has nothing to do with being hereditary, right? So then the Cancer Society says that even you should ask if they have certain type of polyps. Now, my ignorance, I didn't know that if your parent had polyps, then that's something you should tell your doctor. But then also, I've been going to my doctor 27 years, and she's never asked me, does your mom or anybody have polyps? That's the thing. They don't ask you that. So this is why I'm getting the word out so you can be an advocate for your health, because I thought I was. But I was totally clueless about the polyps and knowing that that is part of the family history too. And my doctor has never, I've said, my grandmother had, oh, no, that doesn't count. Your mother doesn't, right? Or your father. And I'm like, no. Then I find out that my mom has polyps, but they don't ask that question. That's why you have to advocate for yourself and know. So any personal history of colorectal cancer or certain types of polyps for yourself, you want to get tested earlier. Personal history of inflammatory bowel disease or Crohn's disease, you want to get it early. A known or suspected family history of colon cancer or polycystic cancer or Lynch syndrome, it says, or different types of cancer. Personal history of radiation to abdomen or belly or pelvic area to be treated prior to cancer. So any type of anything that you can ask the doctor, hey, can you give me a slip if you need a referral to get a colonoscopy? But even if you have none of these and you just feel it or you want to get a colonoscopy or you're an advocate for yourself, then you get a colonoscopy. Even if none of these things apply to you, or if you feel funny, because let me tell you something, I had no symptoms. I would not, if I didn't get a colonoscopy, y'all hear me, I would probably be dead because I didn't have any symptoms at all. At all. That's why they call it one of the silent killers. And I'm trying to stress this, and it's important for you to get your colonoscopy. Bump what they say about any ages. Be an advocate for yourself. Like hell, if you're just listening now and you like, I'm 40, I want to get one, then ask for one and get one. No harm, no foul, right? They're not doing anything but checking it. It's not like they're giving you any medicine or they're treating you with something that's going to hurt you. A colonoscopy is not going to hurt you. It may be uncomfortable, but it's not going to hurt you. Also, you want to, pay attention to your bowels to make sure that your bowel movements haven't changed. You don't have constant diarrhea or constipation or narrowing of the stools or anything that lasts more than a day. The feeling that you need to do a bowel movement that's not relieved by having one. So if you feel like you gotta go poop, let me just keep it real, but you get to the toilet and you don't have to poop, that might be a sign. Rectal bleeding, blood in the stool, which might make the stool look dark or brown or black. Cramping or pain in the abdomen, feeling tired or weak, losing weight without trying. Let me tell y'all something. That wasn't mine because I wasn't losing. Between this and menopause or whatever, I definitely wasn't losing weight. So that wasn't one of my my symptoms, just keeping it real. But that might be somebody else's symptom. So you want to make sure that you check, and be an advocate for your health. Even when I'm looking at pictures. I'm online looking at pictures. I don't hardly see no black people or black women. I don't. And someone actually asked me, how do you have colon cancer? Because only men get colon cancer. Somebody actually asked me that. So that goes to show you that a lot of people are ignorant to the fact. And ignorance is bliss. If you don't know, then said, well, I've seen black men. I've never seen black women get it. How did you get it? I don't know how I got it. You get what I'm saying? I have no clue because I watch what I eat. My doctor even said, you eat the right things. You do the right things. You pay attention to probiotics and belly health and gut health, and you're doing the right things. He said it has to be hereditary. He said, don't eat this, don't eat that. I was like, I don't. He was like, do this, do that. I was like, I do that. And he was like, what? So I'm not someone that's reckless. And that's why I'm trying to get this message of importance out. Because it's not that, oh yeah, you just ain't doing the right things. You ain't taking care of your body and you got this or somebody else had this. No, you can be doing the right thing and still get it. And that's what I want to stress to everyone, because I want y'all here. I want you alive. I want you to be able to see your children, see your grandchildren. Let me tell you something. When they told me that and I went to the surgeon, I said, I don't want to die. I want to live. I said, my daughter's birthday's coming up. One's about to graduate from college and I'm about to be 50. Like, I want to be here, you know? And he was like, you will live. But what if this was stage 4? Stage 2 is nothing to sneeze at, because some people get stage 0, stage 1. I had stage 2. I was walking around with cancer, y'all. Didn't even know it. Had no clue. Didn't know it. So I just wanted to do a quick episode to talk about this. Colon Cancer Awareness Month is in March, but for me, it's every single month. For me to get the word out, I'll do it every day if I have to. I'll do it every week if I have to, every month if I have to, you know, go around speaking. So if you want me to come to your community center, your religious organization, your family cookout, you want me to come on a stage of thousands to speak about it, I will. This is what I do anyway. I speak for a living. So if I have to incorporate this in that, or just come to speak about this, forget everything else I do, to come speak about this, I'll do it. I had an event a couple of weeks ago and I had to speak. I started it off with this. I cut into my speaking time to talk about colon cancer and colon cancer awareness and to share my story because it was important. And I cut into, you know, the time that I had to deliver the other message was about writing a book and how to write a book and all of that because I'm an author. But I cut right into that. I was supposed to speak for 30 minutes. I used 15 minutes of it to talk about this. That's how important it is to me. So if you need me to call you, if you need me to get on the stage, if you need me to be on your show, if you need me to be on your panel, if you need me, call me and go to livingtruelivingyou.com and all my information is right there. I'm serious about this thing. My new favorite color is blue. I still love green and I still love purple. Those are my two favorite colors, but I just added blue right on in there because that is a color and a reminder of God's grace over my life and how he saved me. So I'm a firm believer that he saved me so I can help save y'all. It's so important. Make sure you get your colonoscopies. Make sure you take care of your health. Make sure you tell all the stubborn people or the people that I don't need a colonoscopy. I'm not getting one. I'm good. Make sure if you got to drag them to the doctor, make sure you do. I love y'all and I appreciate you, you know, for your support. And send this episode to somebody that you love and care about. Just send it to them. Say, listen to this. They don't even have to know. Listen to this. Because I'm so happy when people hit me up and like, you inspired me to get a colonoscopy. That makes me feel like I won the lottery. Because so many people think they don't have to. Because they don't have symptoms. I didn't have any symptoms. 0. I had 0 symptoms. And still got colon cancer. And it's by the grace of God that I've survived colon cancer. Each year, 140,000 Americans are diagnosed with colon cancer, and more than 50,000 die from it. The bad news is, for African Americans, it's even worse. African Americans are more likely to get colon cancer. They're more likely to have advanced stages of the disease when they're diagnosed with colon cancer. I love my people for real. And I want those numbers to come down. And I hope those facts startled you to make you move. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Shine with Kendall Anise. Remember, you are a star, so don't allow anyone to dim your shine. And remember that you are worth it and you matter and your health matters. Your mental health matters and your physical health matters. So make sure you take care of yourself because you can't pour from an empty cup. And most importantly, you can't pour from no cup if you're not here. Thank you for tuning in. God bless.
Shine with Kendall Anise. Real talk for real people. Let's shine together.